I just wanted to let you know really quick before we start the recording and more
We're
people
live
join
on
us,
YouTube.
that Alan Bowie, one of the appointees, may
Yeah.
not be able to join us tonight.
Okay, so he was December 31st. So that gives them,
Yeah, he'll have
And-
time to come in February.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. He'll have time to come in February. Okay.
And he's going to try and make it tonight. I just didn't receive confirmation yet if he's going to be able to or not.
On. Hi, my older Rodriguez.
How's everybody doing? I didn't think you were joining us, Yvette.
Yeah, I was, I'm on my hustle, but you know, the
Okay.
accommodations are like very good. So they allowed me to be able to participate.
Wonderful.
You look good.
Yeah, and I didn't want you to
How are
not have-
Rose?
Thank you.
I wanted to make sure you guys had a quorum too, you know?
And where are you? Are
Me?
you home? Yeah.
No, I'm in Meriden, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
A little
Um,
side hustle.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yes, we do, my dear.
Mr. Bowie is not going to attend tonight. He
Okay.
may come, he may not. So,
Uh-huh.
but we still have time for him to come next month.
Okay, good. So we
Okay.
have Nadine Horton and two more then, if you,
Yeah, Adrian Ekman, Nadine Horton, Domingo Medina, and Cynthia Spears.
You okay?
all right, cool. All right, let's do it.
We have one more minute.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Jill.
Hey,
Hello, Rose.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a withdraw, right? A leave to withdraw for Mr. Bowie.
No, we're going to leave it in committee. We'll take it up next month.
Okay, so we're not gonna even address the item, even though it's an item.
we'll pass
Exactly.
over it, right?
Yeah, we'll pass over it.
Okay, okay, thank you.
And this way we'll note it for the record.
Right, because he's unable to appear, we'll pass over it and take it up again next, our next meeting.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Jill, are you
And-
going to join us?
Actually, he is able to join us, so he is here.
Oh, okay, wonderful, good.
Easy.
Alder Marks, are you on the call?
Yeah, she
Okay.
joined in, Alder.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
I'm here.
so we can do the notice for this evening. Thank you. We have a quorum. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
All right. Let's get this meeting started. Aldermanic Affairs Committee meeting agenda, January 25th, 2021. Board of Alders, New Haven, the Aldermanic Affairs Committee of the Board of Alders will meet on Monday, January 25th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conference at https://New Haven, Connecticut, Zoom, US webinar register /WN _OSCWPUHSJIQCPIBEDUBG and by phone at 646-558-8899 8656 webinar ID 991-9762-6247. To hear and act on the following items. For required password, contact public testimony at newhavenct.gov. I would like to thank Alders, before I go on to the agenda, I would like to thank Alder DeCola for offering to join us if we did not have quorum. Thank you very much. I also like to thank Carmen Rodriguez, who is joining us as well. And if I missed anybody, let me know. Item number 1, order of the New Haven Board of Alders, approving the appointment of Alan Bowie to the Board of Ethics. Item 2, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Adrian Ekman to the Board of Ethics. Item 3, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Nadine Horton to the Livable City Initiative Board. Item 4, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Domingo Medina to the Solid Waste Authority Board. Item 5, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Cynthia Spears to the Homeless Advisory Commission. Per order, Honorable Rosa Ferraro Santana, Chair, attest Honorable Michael Smart, City Clerk. These items are on file and available in the office of the City Clerk, room 202 at 200 Orange Street, New Haven, Connecticut, 06510. For accessibility related accommodations, please call 203-946-7833V or 203-946-8582 TTY. Sorry about that. Public comment and testimony may be submitted via email to publictestimony@newhavenct.gov before 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. If you wish to present testimony at the meeting, you must register in advance at https://newhavenct.zoom.us/webinar/register/WN hyphen OSCW/PUHSISJIQCPIBEDULBG, or by calling 203-946-7934 or emailing publictestimony@newhavenct.gov before 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting for a required password. Public can view the meeting at https://newhavenct.zoom.us/webinar/register/WN underscore OSCW/PUHSJIQCPIBEDULBG, or listen by phone at 646-558-8656, webinar ID 991-7962-6247. The password is in listen only by phone is 424-337-7953. Thank you, everyone. And I would like our colleagues to introduce themselves who are on the call this evening, starting with our Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair Santana. Good evening, honorable colleagues and guests. My name is Yvette Hamilton. I represent Ward 24 and I'm the Vice Chair for Aldermanic Affairs.
Alder Clyburn.
You're on. You have to unmute, Alder Clyburn. Unmute.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, my chair, Alder Santana. Thank you for all our guests tonight. I'm Alder Clyburn from Ward 20.
Alder Santana, unmute.
Yes, Alder Rodriguez.
Present. I'm Alder Evelyn Rodriguez, Ward 4. Thank you.
Okay, Alder, Marks,
Good evening, everyone. Alder Jill Marks, Ward 28.
Alder Santana, you have to unmute.
I know, I keep going to mute and I keep forgetting. I am so sorry.
No
Thank
problem.
you, everyone, for joining us for this committee meeting this evening. And I wish to thank all the participants who are also on the call this evening. I'd first like to start with Mr. Bowie, and I see he's already on the call. And you are going to be nominated for the Board of Ethics. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your name and address for the record, Mr. Bowie, and why you want to be on this board.
Sure. So my name is Alan H. Bowie Jr. My address is 1816 L.T. Grasso Boulevard, New Haven, Connecticut. In general, about me, I am an attorney for the law firm Carmody, Torrance, Sandak, and Hennessy. In addition to that, I'm a lifelong New Haven resident, besides going to the Howard University for my undergraduate education and Wake Forest School of Law to attend law school. In general, I believe that service is the price we pay for rent on earth. If you were to look at my background and resume, I look to serve the New Haven community in many capacities. I've served as a board member for the Community Action Agency of New Haven, a current board member for the Neighborhood Music School, and my roots in New Haven and community service sort of run deep. My grandfather was William Winans Bowie, who was a longtime educator in the city of New Haven. Worked at the Dixwell Center for the Arts and also was a music teacher at several schools. That's what really instilled with me a sense of needing to provide service to the community and for the importance of giving back in that sense. So I think that this will be the opportunity for me as a young man at the age of 29 to provide service to my city in an area that makes sense with what I do. Being a lawyer, we are supposed to, uphold the highest level of ethics. And I believe that I'd be able to transition that and serve well on this board for the city of New Haven.
Have you reviewed what the action plan or their bylaws are for their charter for the ethics?
So I had not
City of New Haven
reviewed
website?
an action plan, but I had sent to me the charter, and I have looked at it, yes.
Okay, and that falls within your framework of what you would like to do?
Yes.
Okay. Alder Hamilton, do you have any questions?
Yes, Chair Santana, thank you so much. Good evening, Mr. Bowie. Thank you for being here with us this evening.
Good evening.
Will your time allow you to participate? And give me one good reason why you think it's important, this ethics group.
So I do believe my time will allow me to participate. Fortunately, well, for one thing, I'll say out first, my first priority has to be being a great lawyer first, but I do make time to serve the community, and being someone who served in several different capacities, I make sure that I can serve. I don't want to do things just to put them on my resume. If I don't feel that I can give it the necessary attention that it deserves, I absolutely wouldn't do it. I think that this is particularly important. I think although this board might not draw the same attention as other boards, really looking at whether things create an ethical issue, whether they're small or large, I think is a big thing for the city, just to make sure that you preserve that level of integrity. Although this might not be something, that'll end up on the New Haven Independent or the New Haven Register, these are things that are very important. I know that many of the issues that come before this board are, routine reviews, and although not very controversial, it's just important that someone understands that and, does that. I think for people to really believe in things, particularly in the city, you have to have that level of integrity there.
Excellent. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Chair Santana. That's all I have for Mr. Bowie.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Alder Clyburn.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bowie, for I just love what you said tonight. I love that word integrity, because that's what I believe we should have no matter what we're doing. So thank you for your time. You said you did things in this community a long time ago. You have greatly served your community, and I'm glad that we have you for ethics.
Thank you very much.
you.
Mr. Bowie, apparently we missed your name and address for the record. So would you please, if you wouldn't mind saying that, please?
Sure. Alan H. Bowie Jr. My address is 1816 Ella T. Grasso Boulevard, of course, in New Haven.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Alder Rod.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Bowie, thank you very much for being interested in the appointment to the Board of Ethics Commission. In this time in New Haven, where there are so many things happening, do you feel that maybe, besides reviewing the charter and reviewing what has happened so far in the Board of Ethics, that it may take a more significant role in the future that has spiked your interest? Thank you.
Sorry, could you just repeat the end of the question? I want to make sure that I answer it accurately for you.
In this time where there are so many things happening in New Haven, that the Board of Ethics can become significant, do you feel that this is why you have become even more interested in the Board of Ethics? Besides it being an entity that reviews and ensures that we practice good ethics throughout all of our departments, do you see it playing a more significant role through our communities and the functions or the activities that hold within it? Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. So I can't speculate, read what the charter calls for and the certain powers that they have. And I know that those would be limited by what you could do. I really could say there that I intend to serve in the role and serve well and, do the things that come before me. I can't really, not having served on the board, tell you what items are coming before the board or what are very significant. But what I can say is that this will be something that I'm very dedicated to. And as I've said, with respect to integrity, that, my plan is to uphold that and make sure that there's confidence in the work being done by the Board of Ethics.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That is all. Thank you, Mr. Bowie.
You are very welcome. Thank you.
Alder Marks.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. To Mr. Bowie, thank you so much for what you do for the city already and wanting to join this ethnic committee. I like the part where you were saying that whether it's a story in the Register or the Independent, it sounds like, your heart is there. You want to put everything that you have into it. So just to add this to an access, it would just be a great thing for this board. And just thank you for everything you do. And that'll be it. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you.
Thank you all. Any further questions that you want to address? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bowie. We will move on to our second person, Adrian Ekman. Thank you so
You're very
much.
welcome, and
I'll let
thank
you
you
know
all.
at the end of the day, or if you want to stay on, you can listen to the conversation at the end. Hello, Adrian. Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Sure. My name is Adrian Ekman, and my address is 542 Chapel Street in New Haven.
Thank you. And you're also joining along with Mr. Bowie for the Board of Ethics. And it is an important part of our charter to have an ethics board. And in most companies, we also have ethics boards. So what what do you feel that you would like to bring to the table for the Board of Ethics?
Sure, yeah. So I think throughout kind of my professional career, the opportunities that I've had have kind of surrounded helping organizations kind of stay with a code of ethics or help with connecting to a set of standards. So it started with, in college, I interned with the Connecticut Office of State Ethics. And then now in my current role, I work with the Commission on Community Service. And what we do is we fund AmeriCorps programs across Connecticut. And once those programs are funded, my role is to ensure that those programs are within compliance of their AmeriCorps grant and that they're following all the regulations that AmeriCorps sets forth. So if you're familiar with AmeriCorps, if you're not, AmeriCorps is a really robust program and it has a lot of standards that you have to follow. And so it can be challenging sometimes for organizations to follow those standards. But my belief and what I've seen throughout my career is that as programs follow those standards, the quality of their program really improves because a lot of those standards are put into place to protect the citizens that our programs are serving, but also the volunteers that have signed up to do a year of service. So kind of throughout my life, I have really seen that as people follow a certain code of ethics, a certain set of standards, it really builds trust within a community. It lets everybody know we're kind of on the same page, we're playing the same game, and we're trying to get to a shared set of ideals and goals. So when thinking about, wanting to serve the people of New Haven, which I'm very passionate about, the Board of Ethics just seemed to be kind of the perfect fit because I do think that, especially now in New Haven, I know over the past couple of years, there have been some rocky moments. And I think that if the citizens can really trust our elected officials, our government employees, I think we can make a happier city.
Thank you so much. Alder Hamilton.
Thank you, Chair Santana. So Ms. Ekman, good evening to you. Welcome and thank you for wanting to be on the Ethics Board. Sounds like you're eager. Are you able to chisel that into your sounds like very busy schedule?
Yes, certainly. I if I'm volunteering for something and I'm signing up for 200%. So while I'm busy, I enjoy being busy, but everything that I'm doing, I am very passionate about and I'm very engaged.
Okay, so you will make the time necessary and you know when the board meets and you'll have your schedule down to be able to be an active participant, yes?
Yeah, yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much for wanting to be a part of the Ethics Board. Thank you, Chair Santana. That's all for me.
Thank you. Alder Clyburn.
Thank you, Chair Santana. I really don't have any questions for Ms. Ekman because our other Alder Hamilton have asked those questions. I listened to her and she has been working in this field to make sure that things are run properly and done right. So I believe she will continue to do that. No matter what, she will make sure the companies or the agencies or whatever she is helping, that she'll make sure that it's run correctly. I believe that. So thank you again.
Thank you, Alder Clyburn. Alder Rodriguez.
Taking into account, thank you, Madam Chair. Taking into account, and I just want to say it's great to hear that you have experience with the state of Connecticut Code of Ethics and their ethics criteria. Taking into account the charter and the commission on the Board of Ethics, what role do you see yourself engaging in to make the Board of Ethics even more significant? It is significant in terms of our departments, in terms of reviewing the ethic practices how do you see it in terms of the community and in terms of the things that are happening in our communities in New Haven? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so in doing my research on the Board of Ethics, something that really struck out to me is the amount of canceled meetings, the amount of times that it seems like maybe there was multiple or one vacancies on the board. It seems like it hasn't been a very consistent board. And so I think if my kind of first thing that I would want to do would be just kind of lay like a base foundation, making sure that people can rely
Sorry, we
on, that
lost
is
you.
meeting and that is working right. Yeah. And so kind of after that base, I think in looking at the charter, another thing that I kind of saw that was interesting to me is I looked up, like I saw this kind of past article in the New Haven Independent about the Board of Ethics, and a past board member had mentioned that they don't go out and like kind of find possibly ethics concerns, and that they wait until a written concern is sent to them. But then when I was looking at the revised charter, it looked like that the board does have the ability to actually go find those ethics concerns. So I was a little bit, so that would be also something that I would be interested in really figuring out, like, what is the role of this board and what is the board allowed to do? Because I do think if the board is able to kind of determine if there's an ethics concern that we should look into, I think that would be something that would be helpful rather than having to wait for someone to write into the board. But those are just basic ideas that I saw off of very little research. So once I would get into it, I'm sure I would be able to do more.
Thank you, Ms. Ekman. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Alder Marks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just listening to what my other colleagues said, you're saying that you are very passionate about what you're doing, and thank you for what you're doing already. And already looking at the charter, I'm sure you're going to put everything you have in it. But just thank you, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ekman. Yes, a lot of times you're absolutely right. Some committees don't meet because they don't have enough participation. Some don't meet because of the time constraints. Some they're set at a time where a lot of members can't attend. So we have been looking into, as the Board of Alders, Aldermanic Affairs Committee, to ensure that if there are issues with time constraints and they're not meeting, to let us know. And we will bring in the chairs of those committees to discuss with them what their actual responsibilities are, and to ensure that they're being followed. A lot of times, chairs of the committee will prevail on what they think the board wants, maybe make a decision in the beginning of how they want to go about their business. But it's seeing that there are two new people, and maybe it's an opportunity now to have a discussion. So I appreciate the fact that you want to look into it and you want to pursue the avenues that are given through the charter to do that.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, if you want to stay on, you can. We will make a decision at the end of the meeting, but it's up to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nadine Horton, is she on the call? And I also want to acknowledge that our Alder Honda Smith has joined us.
I'm here.
Thank you, Nadine. Oh, there you are. You were in one place and then you moved to another, so I kind of lost you for a second.
Sorry about that.
Your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Nadine Horton. My address is 495 Winthrop Avenue, New Haven, Connecticut.
Thank you. And you're being appointed to the Livable City Initiative Board. And this is a very critical board in our city, meaning that it talks about properties and strip lots and things that can be viewed to be part of another property. So it's important that the person has an understanding. And I'm hoping that maybe you know a little bit about it already, or you're just learning about it now.
No, I'm familiar, although I'm not familiar with all the workings of the LCI board, I'm very familiar with the LCI department itself.
Okay.
Of all the departments in the city of New Haven, I feel as if the board, the LCI department itself has the most direct interaction with residents in their neighborhoods and in their communities, and also can have the most impact on those communities because of the powers that it has in terms of dealing with blight issues, quality of life issues. For me, myself, I live on Winthrop Avenue, as I said, right off of Whaley Avenue. So I know firsthand the impact that LCI can have in making a neighborhood in a commercial district better for everyone involved. That's residents, business owners, etc. So I feel of all the departments that the city has, LCI can be the most impactful in the day-to-day life of its residents.
Okay, I'm not sure they go into the day-to-day in their appointment to the Livable City Initiative Board. I think this more has to do with taking a property or distributing a property. But
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I just wanted to make sure you understood that.
Right. And let me just clarify. The board has immense powers in choosing where those properties are.
Yes.
By turning over those properties to certain organizations or businesses, that can have a huge impact on the neighborhoods. So the board itself has a lot of power in deciding who gets to buy certain properties, where those properties are, splitting up certain parcels, deciding how those parcels are split, turning them over to either organizations or residents or businesses. So the board itself has a huge amount of power. Just the backstory of LCI itself and how it operates with the residents in the businesses in the city, incorporating that into what the board itself can do and the power that it has in shaping a neighborhood or shaping a certain district. It has a lot of power. And I think it's important that whoever sits on that board understands the power of turning over a parcel to an organization or to a person or to a business, and making sure whoever that is has the right intentions for that particular property, what's best for the neighborhood, interacting with that neighborhood, whoever is taking over that particular parcel or land, that they understand that whatever they do is going to impact that neighborhood possibly for years to come. So I think the board itself has a lot of power, and that needs to be understood in deciding who gets to do what.
Thank you for that, because you've made my eyes light up. Because a lot of times people look at a small sliver lot and say to themselves, what can we do? But in actuality, it can make a great impact on a community. So thank you for those comments. Alder Hamilton.
Thank you, Chair Santana. Good evening, Ms. Horton. How are you? Happy New Year.
Good evening, Madam Vice Chair.
Nice to see you. I know you because you are our web chair, but time is key, right? And I know that you're active in the community doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first I want to know the timing. Will you be able to juggle all the dues to make sure that you are present for the LCI board if appointed to the board? That's the first thing. Second of all, LCI deals with a lot of resident issues. For me, it's about the resident, not about the city department, but it's about the department doing their jobs to make sure our residents are cared for in the best way possible, right? So how are you going to make sure that they stay on top of their jobs? Because I get a lot of calls saying, hey, LCI didn't respond to me and my issue.
Thank you for those questions. I've been trying to get on the LCI board for several years now. So clearly it's a priority for me, and even being given this opportunity, I will absolutely make sure this is a priority. Whatever board issues, meetings come about, that takes priority, because again, the board itself has a lot of power to shape and impact the lives of and neighborhoods of the residents of the city, of which I'm born and raised here in New Haven. So that means so very much to me. So I will absolutely make time for those meetings. Secondly, being a resident and having dealt with LCI myself and trying to resolve neighborhood issues, I understand how important it is for the department itself to be fully aware of how important it is to give proper customer service, for lack of a better word, to its residents. The issues that residents call LCI with that may come before the board, those are not trivial. Whatever issues that residents bring to their neighborhood specialists or bring to the department, it's because it's affecting their day-to-day lives, it's affecting their neighborhoods, it's affecting their communities, and they want to make it better. That's what the whole mission of LCI is about, to make the New Haven neighborhoods better. So that has to be the top priority, period. And that will be stressed. One of the first things I would stress if I'm approved for the board is how much better we have to do in providing better service to our residents. We just have to. That has to be priority. You can't ask people to take better ownership of their neighborhoods and their communities and not help them do so. We're trying the best we can as neighborhood and neighbors and residents in our communities. We need help at times from the city. The city has to be there to provide it. That's what LCI is for. So that would be a top priority of mine, is to make sure that they provide better service to the residents, because we all want good, better neighborhoods, good, strong, safe, clean, viable neighborhoods, and working together, that's what we can achieve.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ms. Horton, for your answers. Thank you, Chair Santana. I'm all set.
Thank you.
Thank
Alder
you.
Clyburn.
Yes, thank you, Chair Santana. Thank you, Ms. Horton. When you come on the board, you will be dealing a lot with the buying, selling, sliver lots, buildable lots. If someone want a sliver lot, are they a person in the community who already keeps the community clean and a viable person in the community and helps that area where they live. So you'll be dealing with a lot of things like that. So I believe you can do this, and that you have that ear and you understand a lot of different parts of LCI, because they have a lot under their belt. They carry so much. Sometimes I think they could, not carry too much, because sometimes when you have so much, some things don't get done properly. But I believe with you on the board and your understanding that I heard you talk about tonight, not only in the cleanliness part of it, but also the buying, the selling, the sliver lots, buildable lots. I think you understand that. So we'll be willing to give you a chance.
Thank you.
All right. And I believe you're a hard worker.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Alder Clyburn.
Thank you, Alder Clyburn. Alder Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have one question. In terms of the work that Livable City Initiative does, there's a lot of wonderful development projects happening throughout the entire city, and there's a lot of affordable housing. How have you become, or what experience do you have that has helped you to become familiarized with the map of our entire city, which Livable Cities Initiative services the entire city? Thank you.
So while there is a lot of development happening in certain parts of the city, I think that LCI can definitely do more to spread that wealth throughout the entire city. As I said, I live right off of Whaley Avenue, which is the first corridor that was approved by the board, commercial corridor. We've been trying for years to get some of that development and some of that growth that's happening in certain parts of the city over to our side. I know that other alders on the board are working, Alder Smith, Alder Clyburn are working to get that type of development and that type of growth along with affordable housing in parts of their neighborhood. We would love to see some type of mixed use development in our neighborhood on Whaley Avenue with business and housing on top. We've tried what St. Luke's has been trying for years to push through a development which would have housing, affordable housing set aside along with businesses. And just to see the growth and the development that is happening in other parts of the city, we would love to have that here. The residents, the businesses, we've all been working together for years now to bring that sort of growth to our part of the city, understanding that for New Haven itself to be as wonderful as we all know it can be, that has to happen throughout the city as a whole. Affordable housing has to take place throughout the city as a whole. Development has to happen throughout the city as a whole. It can't just be concentrated in certain parts of the city, because then that leaves so many people out of that period of growth. So we've been trying for years to do some type of something on Whaley Avenue, and we've been trying to attract the attention of developers, and we've been working with different city departments. I think one of the strengths that I can bring to the board is the fact that I've worked with so many different city departments in trying to do things in our neighborhood. And I can tell you the power of conversation, the power of just reaching out and talking to folks and just brainstorming and talking about ideas and talking about the possibilities is priceless, because again, it shifts the focus from maybe they weren't thinking about our neighborhood, but now just by us reaching out and saying, hey, look at us over here, it gives them the sense of, well, maybe we should look over there versus just looking downtown or just looking on the east side of the city. For New Haven to be the best that it can be, we have to address this issue. But even bringing it down smaller than that, I think sometimes we get so focused on the high level that we forget the impact that we can have on the day-to-day lives of our residents and our neighbors in the city. And just by making sure you have a clean neighborhood, the sense of pride that gives folks, just walking down the street and not seeing trash everywhere or not seeing a boarded up, burned out property that hasn't been fixed in 2 years. That brings a sense of pride and sense of ownership to that neighborhood. It also cuts down on crime. So these are things that affect residents on the day-to-day level. Absolutely, we need to address affordable housing. But even before that, Alder Rodriguez, I would like to assure that people just have a clean neighborhood, that there's not trash everywhere, that if they make a call to their specialist, that they get a call back within a reasonable period of time. If they reach out to LCI for an issue, they get a call back. Something that simple can make the difference in somebody deciding to stay here in New Haven or not.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Alder Marks.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. To Nadine, hello there tonight.
Hi, Alder Marks.
Yes, Nadine is also my management team chair, and she's also my constituent. Over the past few years, I got a chance to work with Nadine closely, and just all the question you all great questions, and the reply that you had given, I just have to say what I know of Miss Nadine here. I see her as a hard worker, and everything she actually doing all of that, working hard. So to me, on this here committee, it's like I was it's like that little puzzle that's missing for what's going to make her complete, because she says she's been seeking this for, what did you say, 6-7 years? That's
A
quite
long
some time.
time.
And it seems like you have a hunger and thirst for this. And I believe that, you would do a great job with our livable city. With all that you do for the management team, you said a lot of what you do. I just think this one other thing that you can work on and work hard at it and be a great access to our livable city. So I know Nitty very well, and she's pretty. She's really she sticks to what she does. Really, she's a go getter, and I really want to vouch for that for you. And thank you for all that you do in the city. And she extends herself not only in her ward or to her management team, but she does things beyond. So thank you so much, and hopefully we can move forward in a great and more powerful way. I'm not going to keep talking because everybody, went before me and everyone's saying the right thing. So thank you, Nadine.
Thank you so much, Alder Marks. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nadine. Your wealth of knowledge, community service is wonderful. And I believe you will bring a different breath to the LCI board, which will hopefully bring it to a different light. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. And we'll go on to the next person. You can certainly stay on if you'd like. And if you'd like, you can listen. If not, then Misty will give you a response as to the recommendations from the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next is Domingo Medina. Domingo?
Yes.
Hi, how are you tonight? Can you
Well,
state your name and address for the record, please?
yes, my name is Domingo Medina. I live at 496 Whitney Avenue, apartment 3C, New Haven, Connecticut.
Thank you. And your request is to go to the Solid Waste Authority Board. Why is your interest in the Solid Waste Authority Board?
Listen, I was actually encouraged to get involved, given my background. I have a background in natural resource management and community development. I have a business, a composting business, the only composting business that here in New Haven. In a way, I got into this because I feel that we can do better in the way we produce waste and how we handle it. And I jumped into composting as a way to mitigate environmental pollution because we burn everything that we trash from our houses. And for me, it's about how can we rescue, make it a resource, improve our soils that can grow food or can enhance gardens or parks and trees, and create some jobs. So I've been doing this for 6 years, and that's my expertise, composting. And I've been very much interested in understanding more and more how we as responsible citizens make decisions about how we are producing our waste and how we handle it. There's a lot of challenges ahead of us here in New Haven, not only in New Haven, worldwide, but we have constraint of space, we have constraint of opportunities. Right now, the municipal incinerator up in Hartford, where we send part of our waste, is going to shut down in 22. We don't know what's going to happen because how we're going to divert or manage those resources are key. So there's a lot of things that I would like to learn in terms of how can we get involved, people that are knowledgeable, people that care, that have understanding, to be able to push the agenda and the mission of the Solid Waste Authority, and see how we can, make things different, partnership with other towns, but certainly, we cannot keep pushing the wrinkle. And I think that's what we have been doing for a long, long time. We had landfills, we closed landfills, now we burn everything, and now what's next? Because nothing of that is sustainable. So these are challenges that we have ahead of us, and I would like to see how I can contribute based on the knowledge that I have.
Well, you sound like you're very knowledgeable, and every day, solid waste authority is not something that everybody wants to sit on. So I applaud you for wanting to do this, because it is something that is nurtured and loved by individuals who compost and love to make resources of old things into new and make them vibrant for different ideas and different challenges that we face ahead of us. So I thank you for wanting to do that, and your knowledge will be a great help to this board. I mean, every time I look around and they're sending us a new newsletter and they're saying what we can't throw in and what we can throw in, and it keeps evolving and changing. And so our old tactics needs to change on how we do stuff, and the communication needs to be better, so that we all as citizens in New Haven need to understand this. And the only way to do it is by demonstrating. So hopefully we can get more of that out there in the community. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alder Hamilton.
Thank you, Chair Santana. Good evening, Mr. Medina. Thank you for being here with us this evening. You know, I hear you speak about even composting, and I have an 11-year-old that says, Grandma, you got to learn to compost. It sounds wonderful. One of the things I'd like, if you are appointed to this board, is to be able to put some of those knowledge out there, to start even in our schools with our youth, you know, because they're the future coming up. So if appointed, I would hope and I would love to work with you to be able to introduce ideas into our community, starting in our school system with children, because that's where it starts. When you teach a child something from youth, it stays with them. So, you know, just put that in your head as somewhere, a direction that, if given the opportunity, you can focus on and push through, you know. Now, also, Mr. Medina, sounds like you're a busy man. Will you be able to make meetings and, you know, be there when called upon?
That's a good question. Yes, I'm a busy person. I'm involved in many things, but I believe that, you know, I'm not going to be alone in this. I'm part of a board. You know, you have a team that is going to be working close, where I'm going to be learning from and where I'm going to be able to share my experience. I'm committed to the meetings. I'm committed to the tasks that are ahead of me. I know that I have a time limit too, so I wanted to take advantage of that. I think, you know, we all as citizens somehow have to take a role certain time in our life within the city, and to contribute. And I see boards that, you know, they pass over and over time, and somebody else has to come over and take that responsibility eventually. So this is my time to do so, and I think I can learn a lot and also provide a lot of input. And one thing that I really believe a lot is that, you know, we have given the city so much responsibility to deal with something that I believe is responsibility of us, is that our trash. There's ways to reduce to what's called resource reduction, how we prepare our food, how we make decisions about what we buy and how we buy them, how we dispose of them. So education, an aspect of it, but also, you know, how can we do things better from the management of that solid waste, and look at the whole process. So something that I really jumped into compost because I started with a school. That's how it started. And at the beginning, you know, the kids were very reluctant about it. Now that's part of the day by day. Of course, with COVID, we don't know doing it right now. But they were the ones that bringing the buckets down, you know, putting their hands in, turn the bucket into the bins, and as long as they understood what was going on and the importance of it, then they embraced it. They adapted it to now the whole school does composting, and now they request their parents to do composting at home. So I understand of those level of impact because they can make a change.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Chair Santana. I'm all set.
Thank you. Alder Clyburn.
No, I don't have any questions. It just sounds like he will be a great person for this
Yep.
to sit on this committee of solid waste.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Alder Clyburn. Alder Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Medina, for your interest in serving on this appointment. And I think that you're going to be a tremendous tool in education to help us get to the next level of taking care of our resource protection. So we have a lot to learn, but I think that's going to be great in that team. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Alder Marks.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Domingo, thank you for what you do already and what you want to do, as serving on the Waste Committee. I see this here thing tomorrow as a big thing, like my colleague or Yvette was saying, like how her grandson was talking about, the waste. It's a really big issue here in the city. And what you're doing privately now to want to take it and move it to working with the city, I see great things as it being a great thing for tomorrow. So thank you for wanting to be on this committee.
Thank you.
Mr. Medina, thank you so much for attending. You can stay on if you'd like, because we're going to discuss the meeting outcome in a few minutes, and it's up to you if you'd like to stay. You can hear,
Thank you.
or you can sign off and someone will let you know. It's all
Thank
up to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Cynthia Spears.
Hello, I don't know what happened to my audio. I did have it on.
Your audio is on.
Okay, now I have it
there
on.
you go.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening. Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Cynthia Spears, 373 Huntington Street.
And that's New Haven?
That's in New Haven, yes.
Okay. And you're being appointed to the Homeless Advisory Commission. And
Yes.
what is your why do you want to pick Homeless Advisory? You have background, information, helpfulness that you've seen or want to do work with?
Well, I worked in the social services field since 2005, after leaving a career in health insurance. And it was really amazing to me to find out how many single moms were homeless. And also to find out that a large portion of families who have DCF cases is because they're poor and don't have, oftentimes don't have places to live. I work at Clifford Beers currently, and half of my caseload are single moms who are homeless. It's been very hectic to try to get people placed in shelters. They're full, and especially because of the pandemic. I'm very active in my community with the management team. I was the secretary. I volunteered at the Women's Warming Center through Grace Chapel. Been a longtime resident of New Hallville. My family's been here since 1967. And I just would love to help people and to make New Haven a better place to live for everyone, including, poor people. Hopefully we'll be able to find a way to get affordable housing for, people who can't afford to pay, current rent.
I was speaking and I was muted. Thank you so much for that information. And also, we have a number of homeless youth, young people that are under the age of 25. Not that they're mothers, but some of them are living on the street, either by parents throwing them out on the streets and or no place to live. So I'm hoping that the Homeless Advisory Commission will also take into account that we do have a number of homeless youth who are living out on the streets as well. And hopefully, I know it's a challenge as well for them, as well as it is for everyone who is homeless. And it breaks my heart to know that people are living on the street. But hopefully with this new commission that will be up and running, and we'll be able to get those answers and questions that we've been searching for a long time. Thank you. Alder Hamilton.
Thank you, Chair Santana. Good evening, Miss Spears. How are you today?
I'm great.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Homelessness is a serious situation in the city of New Haven, but an even bigger situation is the need for a lot more affordable housing, you know?
Yes.
I think they go hand in hand. Homelessness, without a home, first of all, without money to be able to afford a home, you become homeless. You know, it's a vicious cycle that goes round and round and round. What do you have any ideas of how we can help our residents to come out of homelessness? What do you see as one of any ways that we can help people to put them back in homes or help them get more situated? Any thoughts?
Well, I'm hoping that the city could possibly write grants to get funds to build affordable housing for people who can't afford to pay the current rents. There's at the management team meetings, people are, investors come all the time to ask, for our approval of apartments that they're building, in the area. And, we stress that, if they do build there, they should have a certain percentage of affordable, apartments for people who can't afford, the current rents.
Right.
But I really think that this, it would be great if the city, would make that a requirement of people, of investors who are coming here and building all these apartments. It's kind of amazing to see all of the construction that's going on in different areas, where they're building apartments, but they're, like luxury apartments and very high rents. So hopefully, the city would take, a part in ensuring that, that they acquire funding to build, affordable housing for people. And also, I do work closely with people from Youth Continuum as well. I'm very much aware of, the homeless issue with teenagers, especially, in the LBGT community. It's, it's really, it's a lot of people out there who need housing.
Yeah, very challenging. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for your time this evening. And I'm sure if appointed, you're going to do a great job. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Chair Santana.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Hamilton. Alder Clyburn.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say I am so happy and grateful that Mrs. Spears is going to be on the homeless committee. Hopefully, she has done so many things in the communities since I became alder. She named, some things that she have been doing, but she have really been working with people who have less, the least ones for a long, long time. Even she just got a grant to do a coat drive here in the community for the children and also for the adults, coats for them. I was so grateful for her time that she put in loving her community, keeping it clean when it's time to clean. She's there for that. She also said that she even volunteered in our warming center that we had here at 660 Winchester with Minister Conyers, and she volunteered her time and was there for that. Not only that, she takes from her own self and give to others that she sees that is in need. Even help me, taking food to people who needs it. Just everything that an alder would need help in that I've seen since I've been here, she's been there with me. And I appreciate even her family, Javon, they're there right there, helping this community to go forward. And I'm just grateful that she has a desire to be on the homeless committee and already working with the homeless. I'm just so grateful that she's here tonight, and hopefully that she may get on this committee, because I know she would be a great access to
Thank
this
you.
committee. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alder Clyburn. Alder Rodriguez.
Thank you, Ms. Spears, for your interest in wanting to serve in the Homeless Advisory Commission. You're working with Clifford Beers. You're connected to Youth Continuum, Department of Children and Families, working with parents, working with the warming centers. You're doing a lot. There's a lot connected here. What role do you see yourself in the Homeless Advisory Committee, seeing that you're doing all of this now?
Well, so I'm an empty nester, and eventually I'm going to retire, and I really don't want to be a person that's just gonna sit around in a rocking chair. So I really want to, be involved in making a difference, in the city that I live in. So I would be available to attend the meetings. I like to stay active. My role on the committee, I just would want to be I want to know what the city is doing in terms of helping the homeless. I'd like to be a part of that, to feel like the city is making a difference, and to know that I, participated in that effort.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alder Rodriguez. Alder Marks.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. To Miss Cynthia, thank you for what you do and what you want to continue to do to enlarge that capacity. Hearing the wonderful things that you're doing in the city of New Haven, that's a great need, and we need it. And I believe that you will be a perfect fit. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Spears, and for everything that you do in the community, working with, oh my God, the name just went by me, Clifford Beers. It's a great clinic. My son used to go there, and I know they do wonderful things. So I really, truly appreciate everything that you do helping our community. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You can stay on if you'd like. We're going to listen to the community if they have anything to say. Thank you.
Okay.
I'd also like to acknowledge that Alder Antunes has also joined the committee this evening. Thank you, Mr. Antunes. Okay, at this time, is there anyone from the general public that would like to give testimony this evening on any of these contendants for these commissions? Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify this evening for these contenders for these commissions? Last time, is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on any of these people that are assigned to the commissions this evening that we'll be voting on?
I do not see any hands raised.
Madam Chair,
Okay.
at this time, I ask that we close the public portion of the hearing.
I
A
make
second?
a motion that we close this portion of.
Okay. Alder Rodriguez made the motion. Do you want a second, Alder Marks?
I second, yes.
Okay. It has been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. The
Madam
public portion.
Chair, I
Yes,
ask that we move items 1, Alan Bowie to the Board of Ethics. Item 2, Adrian Ekman to the Board of Ethics. And item 5, Cynthia Spears to the Homeless Advisory Committee. Thank you.
Second.
The first and second, a question. What
Discussion,
happened
discussion.
to 3 and 4? Did we miss
3
them?
and 4, we're going to do amendments on those, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. All right,
Thank you.
we will, the items that are before us is 1, 2, and 5. 1,
Right.
2, and 5. And so it has been motioned and seconded. All in favor of moving these 3 individuals forward to those committees? Say
Aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Alder Rodriguez.
Madam Chair, item 3, Nadine Horton to LCI. I ask that we move that item.
Okay, it has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Clyburn. It has been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Madam Chair, there is an amendment to this item.
Okay,
The term expiration date from July 1, 24, it be changed to July 1, 22. This appointee is filling a vacancy that expires on July 1st, 22. Thank you, Madam Chair.
thank you. Any further discussion?
So, Madam Chair,
Yes,
am I to understand that Ms. Horton is completing a part of a term?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
All right, I'm fine with that. I think Ms. Horton is going to be a great asset to the LCI board. She brings a lot to the table because number one, she's very active in our community and all through the city of New Haven, and she's very well familiar. I think she'd be a plus for them to make sure, you know, they continue to do the great job they have been doing, but also taking more interest in our residents. So I'm in favor of Ms. Horton's approval for the board.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Madam
thank you.
Chair, I ask
Motion
that we
carries.
move item 4, Domingo Medina to the Solid Waste Authority.
It has
Thank you.
been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved in second discussion.
There is an amendment that we ask that the date be changed from December 31st, 2024 to December 31st, 2021. Unfortunately, we are not close enough to December to extend the 3-year term out to 2024. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Chair Santana, I think Mr.
Yes.
Medina, given the time allowed that he would be on the Solid Waste Commission, I think he would do a fantastic job. He's already invested in the community and working hard in the community, and this would be just another continuation of that.
Absolutely. I certainly agree with you. Any further discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
as I was listening to Mr. Medina speak about his role on the commission, he made it feel so in layman term, so simple, that I think he would make a great contribution in helping us move forward in terms of resource reduction in the entire city through the many things that we can utilize and not necessarily trash or burn. Thank you, Madam Chair.
thank you. Any further discussion?
I agree totally with that,
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair.
I'm also
Thank
in
you.
favor with that. Also, I
And
agree.
it's funny, we talk a lot about solid waste tonight. How do you like that?
Also,
It's not a stinky subject tonight. It's a great subject. Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor for Mr. Medina, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion carries. There is no abstention, no unopposed. Thank you so much, everyone, for
Madam
this.
Chair, I ask that we adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Second.
Okay, it has been first and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everyone.
We
Good
are
night.
adjourned. Good
We
night.
are
all.
Good
adjourned.
night, everybody.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Seeing
everyone.
you, Aldermark.
Thank you.
Good night now. Bye-bye.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thanks, everyone. Take care and have a good night.
Thank you,
night.
Missy.
Be safe.